Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Loic, if I remember rightly, is that how you pronounce it? Pretty much, I'm pretty sure it is. How are you? Speedy, good morning. So, okay, market is due open. Okay, it's open, just. So, let's have a look at this. We got this downtrend, so hope everyone's raring to go. Good day yesterday, got a nice trading. That's what I wanted. So things seem to be right for me. I've just sort of found my comfort level at the moment. So all good. Market has improved lately as well. There's been some setups, quite a few. So I don't know about anybody else thinks about that, but things are improving. So I don't want to speak too soon, but hopefully, fingers crossed. So let's see how we get on today. Now, I got two schools of thought with this. Something like that with a break and a new low. Whether there's a channel there or not, it's hard to say. Thomas Wade has got this as a break. He's got this from the top to there. Is that right? Which he's got that there. No, tell a lie. Yes, he has. Sorry, my mistake. So let's just remove that. So he has got like that with a break and a new low. So whether it is or not, I don't know. He's got it like that. Actually, I think he's probably right. It kind of fits there. Some have got it the other way. So let's just go with that. So we've got a touch there. In fact, from the top there to that first swing touches and that touches. So yeah, I think he's probably right actually. So let's put that there. So we've got a break and a new low. So that technically is played out. My only slight concern is that in itself looks like a channel. So we could get a break here and a new low from this channel. It's hard to say really. It's weird how we've had a break of it and then we've worked down in a channel as opposed to maybe just a couple of legs. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 legs down, which tells me we may come down and retest this. So we just have to keep an eye on this. So he's got it like mine, but there are a couple of others who've got it from there and including that in a channel. So it's hard to say. If that's the case, this is a break and we're expecting a new low anyway. So we just have to keep an eye on that. Akitri, how you doing, my friend? So let's have a look. So I might have to have a quick phone call. I'm expecting a quick call. I just bought a car a few days ago and I've just going to make a couple of changes. So my phone is probably going to go off at some point, hopefully. But it'll be a 2-minute call, that's also. Okay. So let me just check my charts are slightly different. I think they are. Yeah, I think so. Is this different? There's 2 bars there. In fact, that is close to that, isn't it? Let me just reload something. All I want to do, is just change that ever so slightly. Ideally, what I want is them all to look slightly different. That looks different from this, so that's a good sign. I hate that. Let's get rid of this. So what does this look? Okay, so that is very similar to this. Actually, it's not. It's a bit different. We've got a full red bar and we haven't there. Okay, so that looks okay to me. So I'm going to put this there anyway. Oh, get off. I'm just going to put that there anyway, as if it's actually in the channel. Drawn Cinema, good afternoon to you. So leg and a leg. Let me zoom out of this. Let's have a little look. So you could put this a bunch of different ways. You could go from there to there, which kind of fits, in which case we've got a break. We may make a new low, or we could get rid of that and have this. Now, ordinarily, you'll hear Mac talk about coming from the top to that next swing, and that next swing is here. And funnily enough, we're touching the same place, and the bottoms don't look too bad. So that is quite likely. But also, there is that as well. Probably take that up to there actually, and drop that a bit. Put that there and drop that a bit, which kind of work as well. The bottoms don't look too bad. So either way, whether it's this or whether it's this, I was going to say we've had a break, but actually if it's that one, we've already had a break and a new low. So this looks like it may be going up. So I'm just going to stick with this for now and see how we get on. So yeah, let's ditch that for a minute. That looks okay. I think we've come down. We've got a leg and a leg. So unless this thing starts to fire down now, it's slowly grinding up. That ATR's coming down. Thank God for that. I nearly took a trade earlier on this one here. It was that bar there. But it was just big, and I put a limit order and it just didn't come back and get me. So my only concern was that one. I actually kind of liked it. We had a leg up and a break and a new high, and it was a failure. I always like to trap some bull bars there because those failures tend to work a bit quicker. But it was a fair size bar, so if I went a tick above it to a tick below it, it's like nearly 5 points. I ain't risking $5,000 on that trade. It's just too much. So I put my limit order at about 3.5 points. Which was back in, it didn't get me, and then once it came down and started coming back, I cancelled my order. So I'm not risking $5,000 on that trade because we'd had a channel here, and it was kind of. So I had mixed feelings about that, and it's early. I don't really like trading pre-market; it's too slow for me. I like to get in and out of a trade. Could be a spike and channel now. Yeah, it could be. See, that could be an overshoot, but let's put it there for now. So yeah, that don't look too bad. See how this performs. If the thing drops, it may be an overshoot, or it might be one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, and then making a new low. Let's have a look. So I could technically look for a second entry long. I haven't got one on anything. Having said that, we got on this chart here, the bottom one, we got a little leg down and sideways and a little leg down. So that might be there. It's just not convincing enough for me to go long because it's a 10 tick bar. So tick above, tick below, I'm risking $3,000. And with me being a little bit unsure about whether we've got something here and a break and this is coming down, or whether we've already had a break and a new low from this channel and this is working up. So part of me thinking it may go long, part of me thinking it may come down. And also there is a possibility that we've had an overshoot. And look how nice that's working there. Perfect there, perfect there, perfect. And we get a bit of an overshoot. So this could send it down anyway. So I got a couple of different mixed feelings, but we got a leg down here. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. This thing could fail. Have you ever had an evaluation account active and without broken rules? Without broken rules, disappear from your list of rhythmic accounts. I don't think I have, that I recall. I'll tell you what I have done. I've accidentally deleted the wrong channel. Accidentally cancelled the wrong evaluation before, but I've never had one disappear. They should not disappear. No, unless you've cancelled them, because when you cancel them, you can go into Rhythmic and just clear from Rhythmic, so it gets rid of them off, off Rhythmic. So that's unusual. That just check you haven't accidentally deleted it. Whenever I used to delete a channel, I used to click the delete button and I used to click back and double check it again. I used to check what the account was called and how much I pay for it as well. So just check you haven't, accidentally deleted it as well. Otherwise, best thing to do is just send them a ticket. This is interesting. We got a little channel here with a break. That's kind of a nice bar there, but I would want a lower high, really. Overshoot. If we can get a lower high, that would convince me then we may push down for another leg. A leg and a leg up. But this could push up. I got mixed feelings about this. See whether I think we're going up or down. Let's see what happens here. Trouble is, if you go short there, you haven't got much space to the lows, and there is a possibility as well, if you look closely, that there is a very small range there. So, you see what I mean? So you've got to be very careful there. So, depending on how you've got this, if you've included this, we've had a break, we could come down. If you've got it like this and we've already had a break and a new low, this may continue up. And the way it looks like it's pushing up to take that out, I think it probably is going up. Wow, look at that now. Wow, that's very tempting to go short. That is very tempting to go short. Trouble is, it's a bit volatile. We have got some medium impact news there, so I'm just going to sit tight here for a second. It's broken below all of that, and it's come back. So it's very tempting, that bar, but it happened that quick. And whenever we get quick movements like that, I give myself an extra few seconds to think. So we have got a channel down, 2 attempts to go lower. The trouble is, it's very close to those lows. You've got no space. It looks like it's going to work, but it was quite a big bar. Tick above 10 tick bar, tick above, tick below. It's 3-point risk. So just the way it's flicking around a little bit, you've got to be a bit careful because let's see if we get a breakout pullback. See if we can trigger that bar long, and then we may get a lower high then, or a failure actually, depending on how you see it. That's interesting. So trigger that bear bar, pushed up. I'd like to see it break above there. And maybe hold this line. Can't go short there anyway, too close to this bottom line. I think there's a good chance this could come down. Or we've had a break, 2 attempts to go lower and it could go up. 1, 2. So, depending on how you've had this channel, we've had a break, 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower. This could fail and push up. Or, if you've got a channel like this, this could be a break, and we're going to push down, trying to push down to make a new low. So I've got 2 schools of thought. Some of the traders in Thomas Wade's groups got it like that. Thomas has got his like this with a break and a new low. So this might be a penguin style trade. So we got a break, 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower, and then a possible failure. But I still expect this to come down a little further, really. It's not had a good enough go at coming down. Now we broke the lows, but then we turned quickly, and now we're trying again. And also having orange bar thingy. Not me today, bud.
Order submitted.
It went orange for a second. I always try and do this, I do, just to give it a chance to fail, but nothing for me at the moment, mate. I'll tell you what to do, Sean. Just email Ninja Trader. They're really quick to respond, and tell them what that you're trading a prop account and you're using Rhythmic and you're finding your orders are going orange, and they sent me a message back saying go into this folder, delete that folder, restart it, and that should help. And it did for a while. In fact, it's been pretty good since. So just do that. They're really quick to get back to you as well, Ninja Trader, unlike some other people we email. So I'm not going short just yet. We have had a break and a new low, well, matching low. So yeah, just you got to try and do what you can. But yeah, I had the problem for a while, and I think I might have only had one little episode of it since then. So it's definitely helped. So we got a little double bottom there. So two attempts to go higher. I'd like to see that bull bar trigger. You could say 1, 2, 3 possible triple test. Channel with a small break and a matching low, and this is pushing up pretty strong. So this looks like the channel down with a break. One attempt to push lower. We've broken the lows anyway, but one attempt to continue on down, and a second attempt, and we've had a little double bottom, and that's pushing up. So what I will try is see how that looks. Okay, it's a bit early yet, but we may get something like that. It's hard to say. Yeah, they're a pain in the arse, them orange issues, them orange bars. They tend to scare me a bit more than the rhythmic problems, because at least the rhythmic problems, you can, you know, if these shut, but the kind of ninja still shows it, at least you know what to do. But with when they freeze, there's nothing you can do really, which is why for any newer guys in, whenever you open an order, I always open them right up
Order
out of the
submitted.
way, so I've got a good amount of points to try and sort out a problem should one arise.
Order cancelled.
Rather than I don't drop them right in here. So let's have a look at this. So we've got a channel with a small break and a matching low. So is this going to come down, or is it just pulling back? I wonder if we're getting something like that. So that's a possibility, but that little bull bar has triggered. So this could come down. I'd not like it to, though. I'd like this to continue on up. So channel break matching low. As far as I'm concerned, that's played out. Let's see if we can get a second entry long. I'd like to trap a bear bar here. Let me just put that back. See if we can trap a bear bar for a lower high. No. Any other charts? No. If we can get a bear bar and it triggers below and pushes up, we've got a higher low. Trapping a short. I don't like that channel at the moment. I don't like that. My only slight concern is it may be starting to go a bit sideways. So going long here might not be the best idea. We may have two pushes up and the thing may then come down. Sometimes if you draw that, this actually all of a sudden now seems like we may come down. But I don't know whether they go long or short here at the moment, so I'm just sitting tight. It's a bit, it's giving me mixed signals. This is showing me that we may be ranging, in which case it could come down. The way we've had a break and a new low, and we've attempted to come down, but we've made a little double bottom, tells me we could go up. But me personally, I'd like to see this come down a bit. But that's just a call it an educated guess. We are making multiple attempts to push up here, so maybe it is going to go. Let's have a look. There'll be some liquidity there, quite possibly. But you could say this is a triple test, but that bar's naff. A bit better. I'm just not sure at the moment, see, so I'm just staying out of this. So we got a leg, we could get another leg, so I have a feeling that this is starting to look like it's more going up than down. Especially when we've come off the high, we've broken the highs from in, we've only come, literally we haven't broken below that middle line, and we've had a double bottom there, which tells me there's more bulls, I think, in the market than the other way around. So I'm guessing this is more going up. So, unfortunately, there's not really a lot you can take there. Even if you wanted to go long, it's just a bit sideways. All I really had was a feeling it was going to go long. Well, a feeling without a setup is more of a gamble, isn't it? And would I really want to go long into there when we've done that? Not really. So this technically could be two attempts to go higher, and it could come down. But that first attempt, the pullback is not as much as I'd expect for a leg. Hey K3, how you doing, mate? Okay, I'm just got a quick call. I'm gonna have to take it. Be back 2 minutes. Sorry about that. Cars. Oh, I'm frustrated. It's all right. I just purchased a Vauxhall Grandland X for £11,500, and the screen was not. Something wasn't working on the screen, and they've just took it to have it looked at, and it's going to cost £2,000 for a new one. So they can't pay that, and it's on with the car, so they're going to have to move it on, I think, which is frustrating for me, considering I've cancelled one of my car insurances this Friday, which has cost me a fee. So, oh dear me. Okay, I'll get over it later. A couple of double whiskies and I'll have forgotten all about it. So let's see what's going on here. So 2 attempts to go higher and failed monumentally. Now, would I have taken that trade there? Yeah, I think I may have done, because it's trapped some longs there, unfortunately. Okay, excuse me just for 1 second. I'm just going to have to send my wife just a quick message. Bear me a second. Okay, sorry about that. Righty-tighty-tighty. Couple of people took. Let's have a look. Yeah, that one there, I think, was a nice trade. That's a shame. I like this. See, if you look, there is a failure there as well. There isn't on this chart. Well, technically there is, but I wouldn't have taken that one. But the failure on there looks really nice. So I would say there is a possibility now of something like this. And a break, and possibly now a new low. So I'm going to ditch, I'm going to ditch that. 2 legs up and a failure. So I expect to try and test these lows. So if we can get a break, let me think. Let me have a look, see if it's better on this one up here. Better on there. Not so good. I'm going to do that from there, I think. Or am I? Dare I now? Better not. Let's put that there like that. Yeah, see, this chart here at the top left fits. This one doesn't. Strangely enough. I have to put it like that though, aren't I? So, come on, get a pull back. Don't get to that lows yet. Shame that one. What was the size of that? Look at that, straight down. That was annoying. I kind of had a feeling it was going to. It was still rather large, but it's actually a second entry short. It's a failure, and it's trapping that higher low as well. That's why I like it. Because I tell you, for now, there'll be traders going along there. Yeah, bouncing on top of this as well. Second entry long, triggered, came straight down. So yeah, right to a new low. There we go. That's frustrating. So are we now just going to break the new lows, or are we? Is there something larger in the works? Well, this thing's rocketing, isn't it? Mm. Fact, I'm going to put that there, I think. So that looks like a correction to me. So I think we're very likely going to make another leg down here, which is a reasonable pullback. So there's still quite a bit of a distance to go as well, which is good. So want a bit of a pullback, ideally, maybe testing something here. Come on, give us a break. Push up. Come on, come on. Trouble is, it's quite a steep channel, quite a tight channel. We may get a reasonable break, hopefully. I'll be surprised if this thing just keeps going down that width for that distance. So that is about halfway, I think, isn't it? So there's about halfway, isn't it? So we get a break and then down some more, maybe. Let's have a look. I'm not even convinced that's a break, to be honest with you. No, I don't think it is. It looks okay to me. It's weird how one does and the other doesn't. Weird, isn't it? The difference is that red bar there. That red bar is a full red bar, and that red bar on that channel has got a stem which I can break through. So let's have a look here. This is going to be where the trade is, I think, anyway. So let's just put that down there anyway. I think this has got to go lower. But I'm not taking this one because it's quite a distance down there. So I would expect a slightly larger correction for another push down. So a push up, a break, and a push up. Ideally, getting up to here, I think it'd be nice leg and a leg, and then slowly down. So this I will consider as a one leg. NQ down 500. Is it really? Fact, yeah, someone said, I think. Oh, well, Thomas Wade says NQ has really great price action today. 500, 500 points, not quite as much, but it's still a fair drop, isn't it? Mind you, to be honest with you, this one's down quite a bit, isn't it? Let's have a look. Where are we down from all time? Well, from highs. So we're down. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair drop, that 72 points. We are due a really big pullback, though, surely, aren't we? So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes down for another leg. I would not be surprised if we pushed out for that full leg, which would take us over 100 points. Yeah, we're due a big pullback. We're so overbought, aren't we? So I'm looking for a correction here, and that is quite kind of a nice size for a first leg of it. We pull back and have another one. Depends how you've got this. On one of my charts, see, we could say there's a possible overshoot here. It's hard to say. They don't all fit the same. No, that looks okay, doesn't it? That one looks okay. This one looks okay. It's all right. Marco said he's got a small overshoot. So that's a good start anyway. That's a good start. So push up. Bullish bar on top of that, triggered, come down. We need to come down to this EMA, I think. With this big leg down and this correction and another strong move down, I'd really expect it to come lower than this. Bars are so small, but really... The thing is, when the bars are small like that, often that means it's a strong market, doesn't it? Lots of little bars like that, which means it's a strong trend. Mind you, look at that. So, yeah, Thomas Wade's channel is basically the same as mine. So, I know he's very forward on always... breaking the lows, even sometimes if they look a bit naff, something doesn't look right, even with overshoots, he still looks to trade the lows to get to the lows. So, but we got to push through that EMA first quite strongly before I even think about it. So that bearish bar there hasn't got triggered out yet, which is a good sign. If we can get below that bar there, because there's going to be traders going long there. It's almost like a bit of a range. We've pushed above that and bounced off that. So if we can get below here, I'd like to see a strong push below and then a lower high. This will tell us really, but you just never know, do you? We could have a leg like that and back and another leg. Who knows? So there's kind of a failure happening on this, isn't there? We've got a channel with a break, a higher low here, which is triggered. So it really could do anything. My gut tells me it's more likely to come down. Say We've got a break and a higher low there on that chart, which is triggered. But there's be liquidity there possibly, and some there. So let's have a look at what it's going to do now. There's a triple test there. So we're above this now. So, okay. So let's see what happens now. We broke this high. So maybe this is just a channel with a break, couple of legs up, and eventually a new low. So it could reverse technically. Check resistance line. And the high of the day, prior swing. About from here to here. It's gone past there, isn't it? I think. We've blown. Yeah, I can just see that now. Let's have a look. Oh. Where's the top? It's about here, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite wide though, isn't it? I've been doing these wide channels quite a lot lately. I did one yesterday, if you remember. We had something from yesterday. So we had something similar, actually. And I left a trade here because we were touching back there. So I messaged Marco last night. I have a chat with him from time to time. And I just said, am I looking too much at the bigger picture? And he went, it's always good to be aware of it. But he doesn't worry too much about the bigger picture. If we have a channel, his thoughts are we still try to make a new low. But it's kind of good to be aware of it. But we're all learning, aren't we? We always learn. So there are a couple of people I go to if I need a few questions. I do talk to Daniel once in a while, and Marco as well. I think those are probably the two that I know are quite a bit more experienced than me and relatively successful. So they're two I tend to talk to if I'm not sure about stuff. So I might get rid of that just for now. See, what I will say is it's a big push that down. We've got a couple of legs back up and another leg down. Now that is a fair size move. So it could still come down. We could have a leg break, kind of a couple of legs and a pull down. From what I'm seeing here, after we've hit this high, so we've I think 4 or 5 days in a row, we've broken all-time highs, and you keep hearing Max say we're overbought. And Al Brooks thinks we're due a big correction, so maybe that might be the start of it. If that's 70 points, this could take us down 110, whatever, and possibly more. So we've got this big push down, and I think obviously the bigger the pushback, the bigger the leg, the bigger the pullback technically. So if I go from here, as long as it's not too high, I could still consider it as a pullback. So we're sort of congested around this 50% line, so it's not too late to come down. Once it kind of gets into this area, then I think it's probably too late then. But what I will say is if you see the middle, that angled line there of the Fib tool, it's kind of sitting there, isn't it? So this is interesting. So let's put that there and see where the other end comes out. See if this fits anywhere. Yeah, I think it's more relevant now, isn't it? But touch. So it's a bit too early to trust that one, but just out of curiosity, I know I tend to do them too soon sometimes, but I like to see out of curiosity, because sometimes there was a time back a while back that I didn't have the bigger channel, and I took a long here and it triggered me and shot down, and when I zoomed out and realised it was a bigger channel. So I think it's good to be aware of it, especially if it's touching as many times as it is there. But we got the same issue as yesterday, but this is a lot smaller and it's within today's time frame. But not only does it look good there, it actually looks okay at the bottom. So I think it's good to pay attention to this and not think about going long. There is a lower high on this chart, but it's above that EMA, so there's nothing I can do there. Here, it's not really telling me much. There is a lower high, but the bar's naff. This chart here, nothing. So that's the best looking chart. Lower high, but it's too high above that EMA, so there's nothing I can do there really. But what I will say, regardless of the bigger channel, does look like there's the start of another channel down, so this may come down. So this is a leg and a leg. It's a bit clear on this chart here, so there. I'd like to take a failure here, but I always like to trap a bull bar for the last leg, and I haven't got one, unfortunately. So this looks quite clear. Channel down, leg and a leg, and then down for a new low. So far, but it's come a bit too far. I like to get a bull bar, trigger it, and then come down here. Maybe we will. Okay, that's interesting. So that would be a failure there. There's a bull bar there, second entry long, but it's in a naff. It's in a channel, so even if you're going to go long here, it's not the place to take it really, I don't think. But I like the way it's pushed up and hit my line. But that's just way too bullish to even think about getting in, so maybe we get a second entry short off that line. I like the fact that it hasn't pushed above this bar as yet. It's not very bearish, this bar, but it is on other charts. So I like the fact there that it hasn't pushed above there, so that's good. So if you took that, you're still intact at the moment. So maybe we got a leg down with a break. Maybe they'll end up being something like that. Leg down with a break and down again, but we got to get a second entry short really. This doesn't look to me like it's setting up for a bullish move. This is downwards, I think. So, yeah, there's a failure there, but that's no good really. Failure there, no good again. I'd like to have another little push up, but I expect a leg and a leg. Or I'd like to see a leg and a leg, which could take us down to there. We're there now anyway, so it's a bit late now. Couldn't really take that one. I think Thomas takes those. What's he call them? He calls them something, but I don't think he's taken anything there. Here, still not brilliant. Lower high there, but into the mid, into the EMA, so nothing really there. So yeah, certainly a possible bigger channel down. So for me, however you look at that one, 2 legs up or a correction with quite likely another leg down. I think that's very likely to get another leg down. It does look like we're having a bearish move here, doesn't it? See if this holds. I can't see any larger channel there. That really doesn't make much sense at the moment. Even if we had that like that, a break and a new high, we've got 2 legs down. This to me doesn't look like it's going up. Looks like it's coming down. So I'm looking for a second entry short here. Just in case. Let's see if it triggers this and comes down. That's a good sign.
Order submitted.
It's getting to a big ass bar though, isn't it? That's the trouble. Do I really want to risk that much? Let's see if we get a bit of a pullback here. It's just too big at the moment, that is. $15, 16, 17 ticks. 4.5 points. 4.25 points. I ain't risking that. Possible little pullback. Trouble is, depending on how you look at that line. Technically, if you look at this one, we've had a break and a new low, so you've got to be careful. But it is working down to me, so I think it's probably likely. If we can get a second entry short here, that may be an option. Excuse me a sec.
Order cancelled.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's have a look here. This could be trapping. There's one there where there's a hell of a lot of liquidity there. So this could be trapping liquidity. So you've got to be so careful. Liquidity there, liquidity there. I like the fact that it's doing this, but I have a feeling this may just go. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment. Oh dear. Trouble is, market moves towards liquidity. There isn't any here. There's nothing. Any buyers may have been there, but after a downtrend like that, why would you buy there? And if you did, when we get the break and that, you'd be taking your profits here. So there's no liquidity to break through. None. So that tells me this is dangerous. So elite that one for sure. That one possibly. That male, that, yeah. So I'm glad I stayed out of that because that would have failed. So tick below it, say there. You'd have had a 1.25. Let's have a look. Yeah, you'd have had a 1.25 because you've got to push through. It's showing a 0.5, but you've got to push through, and that one as well. Yeah, this is dangerous because it's something I tend to think about a lot. I started watching a lot of that ICT, and he talks about a lot about, and he identifies prices where it's going to eat stops and stuff. But there's nothing down here. Look at this. It's just bar. There's no entries here. So there's nothing to break through. Obviously, as we break through liquidity and pick up liquidity, it gives momentum. But there's nothing there, which is why it's just looking a bit risky, that. So I'm glad I stayed out of that. So, let's ditch the large one. Even so, after that channel, you'll still be thinking about going short. But here, it's a shame, really, because I don't actually think it looked terrible, but the fact that there's no liquidity there, there's nothing there to push through. And I mean, if you like that channel, there's a small break there. We've actually pushed down to a new low, so getting into that trade was just risky, so I left it, and I'm glad I did, because I'd have been looking for 2 points, but it wouldn't have got me that. So it doesn't mean it's not going to come down. Sometimes it takes out these areas before it moves down on its merry way. So there's nothing to trade here. That was the next one. So that one and that one got taken out. So it cleaned all that before it pushes down. So I think it's likely to push down now. So I'm looking for a little pullback. and then hopefully it doesn't go much further. Sometimes it just continues on down, and it's kind of too late. Looks like it's going to. See if there's anything large in there. It's just continuing on down, isn't it? Okay, so that's a possibility. Touch. I don't know. Doesn't fill me full of lovely fuzzy feelings, put it that way. So maybe, so we got this big leg down, we got a correction, we got a leg down with a couple of legs up, and it does look like we're trying to move down. But you just can't go short here. It's probably just going to go down. Sometimes it just does. It is frustrating, really. I'd like to see a pullback. Second entry short, so break, 2 legs, second entry short. I mean, we've had a break there, depending on how you look at that, and then 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. Market moves in 2s, but still haven't made a new low, so sometimes it'll just clear out the cobwebs before it pushes down. But sometimes when it does that, you get a steep push down then, and we've gone down a couple of big bars, and it's feathering already, so it's just, we're still definitely bearish. It's definitely working down, so there'll be no reason at the moment to think we won't continue to try and push towards that. So Clay Lance, how are you doing, sir? I'm all right, mate. How are you? Well, I was okay. I'm a bit frustrated, actually. I bought a car a couple of days ago, and I did a deal with a guy to part exchange my old car, and I was ready to pick up Friday. So on my car, I cancelled my insurance at the end of Friday. So there was a £53 fee, so I paid the £53. There was something wrong with the screen on the car. It was only a 3-year-old car. There was something wrong with the screen. They just said it needed an update, so they were going to get it sorted out. So I paid a deposit, cancelled my insurance, and they've just phoned me up now, said there's a problem with the screen. It's going to cost £2,000 to replace the screen, and they haven't got the profit margin in the car to do it, so they're going to have to cancel on the deal. So it's a bit frustrating when I've cancelled my own policy. And when you're in the middle of trading and you miss a trade and something like that, so it annoyed me. So I had a bit of a moan, and they said they'd pay me £53 to cover me cost. It was it's a Vauxhall Grandland X, and it's just one of those 9-inch touchscreen, that does all the DAB radio and the sat nav and all that sort of stuff, the air conditioning. The radio screen. Well, they've come to me. There was a problem with it. It wasn't coming on properly. They thought it might just need a software update, but yeah, they've just took it to their main dealer, and they've said £2,000 for a new one. So obviously they haven't got that much profit in there, so they're going to move it on. I think whether they'll put it through an auction or what, I don't know. But it was nice car, nice colour. Maybe you can, but I'm just not prepared to cough up £12,000 for something that, you know what I mean, that may have a problem. Yeah, there probably is some sort of aftermarket thing, but they did say they've got some others in stock. This was a blue one. This was like a metallic blue. I wanted like a metallic gunmetal grey or something like that. So that was the one thing that I wasn't overly joyed about the car, but the wife liked it, the colour. So I thought, it's just a colour, keeps them happy. Guys go for speed and engines. Wives sometimes just go for the colour. So, but yeah, it just means I've got to go back in there and make another deal. It's a bit of a ball ache, isn't it? We'll sort it out. I hate it when they come at the wrong time, don't they? So are we going to get a second entry short here? I'd like to see a bull bar there, and to trigger and come down. So I still think it's with this channel. I still think it's slightly. See, there's a lot more stuff available to you guys in the US. We got bugger all over here. We're about 5 years behind you guys. So yeah, you just don't want the hassle, do you? But yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. I said to the salesman, I said, okay, so it's been ready for Friday, weren't you? Definitely. I said, okay, well, I'll cancel my insurance. my other car insurance. There was a couple of months left on it. So it'll run out on Friday at midnight. So he went, yeah, that's fine. So, and it was a lady who spoke to me. She said she's worked at this garage for 9 years and they'd never had a problem like this, that a job was too expensive, because the car's only 3 years old. You wouldn't expect to have to pay. And the frustrating thing is with this, it's about 3 months over 3 years old. So you get a manufacturer's warranty on this particular car for 3 years. So a few months ago, the manufacturer would have replaced it for free, so they can't even go down that road. So it's just one of them things, isn't it? I was kind of hoping we'd get a lower high here, trapping the bull bar, but this thing looks like it's pushing up. And I've got to be careful because we've had a break here, 2 pushes to a new low, and if you don't believe that, we've even had a bigger break with a new low. So I can't bring myself to go short just at the moment. 2 legs up though, that might not be terrible. It does look okay on this thing, doesn't it? And there's kind of a yeah, it is 2 legs. It is like a second entry short, that. But the trouble is, I'll be going short right in the middle of that lot. Do I want to be doing that? Because it could trigger and come to the top here. Yeah, I just in case. I mean, it is a second entry short. It's a nice big bearish bar, but it's not up to these highs. And I'm not sure whether the market's going up. And taking a trade right in the middle there is always a bit risky. So I'm staying out of that. And the fact that that's triggered and it's starting to move up already is telling me I think I made another good decision. Having said that, we got 2 legs up there. Often when we have 2 good strong pushes, and we do make a pullback, but are we not getting involved in this? See if that triggers. So that's triggered. Trouble is, even if this comes down bearish, it's a bit stacked then, isn't it? And I'm still going short just below the midline. Leg and a leg. Trouble is, after we've had a break here, new low, 2 legs up, going short again is risky because we've had plenty of new lows, and you could even say we've kind of had a triple bounce off that area. So I'm just staying out of this at the moment. It's getting a bit unclear now. It's quite likely got some kind of range going on as well. So we've had a little channel with a break, 2 pushes up to a new high. If we can get a bearish bar above this, we may have a hope. We're going to leg, 2 attempts to go higher and down. Still not quite to the top. So whenever I've taken trades not at the tops, I'm just thinking, is there liquidity left up here? There would have got taken out. Would you sell here? Probably not. So it may not go much higher. So it's just a bit too far away from that top for me. Will it work? It may do. But at the moment, after this, we're getting a bit choppy, so you could get stung here. Excuse me a sec. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. So that did work, even so. So leg down, 2 attempts higher. I think it's going for this level down here. So let's have a look. Yeah, there's a few people looking at it but didn't take it. On Thomas's. The trouble is with that is it's a bit too far from the top. So if it triggers you and pushes up and takes you out, you'll kick yourself. So it's just not quite high enough for me. What I will say though, it does look like 2 attempts to go higher, but even Penguin wouldn't take it until it pushes through that AMA. And it stopped at the AMA and then went straight back, and it didn't come back anyway. So let's put that there. So there's a second leg there. So leg and a leg. I think it's likely we make a new low from this. It's just too late to go short now. If we can get a break here, but once we're below all this, see, especially that, we may not really get a pullback, or it may not be quite as strong as we need. So thinking about that, no, I would tend to go with that. We got a break, 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. I've been thinking about streaming, but it's hard with the kids around. Yeah, I've got a 15-year-old. It's hard with her when she's at home. Yeah, it depends how old your kids are. So you guys, you're US, aren't you? So you're really early morning, and that's usually when kids are at their liveliest. But if you can lock yourself in a room, I mean, if you're at home with the kids, then it's tough, isn't it? I think I'll be more worried about the kids touching my computer and accidentally buying something they shouldn't. But I've got a 15-year-old, so she's not too bad. She's at school most of the time, but yeah, it works for me. Some people have tried it, doesn't. But I don't know, I suppose it's what you're used to. I've been doing this now for over 1.5 years, so I kind of feel odd. If I ever trade, which is rare, or I ever look at a chart when I'm not streaming, I kind of feel like I'm cheating in a... It sounds a bit weird, but I do like the fact that I can sit here and talk about what I'm seeing, and I know there's someone listening rather than talking to myself and looking like a complete moron. And there's the accountability factor as well, so... but yeah, it may be difficult if you've got kids. If you've got a partner around, kids, daddy, yeah, I know. I mean, in fact, I was watching, I just happened to be watching a clip of trades by Matt, and he's got a little daughter. She must be about 3, and he was there. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Matt's trades by Matt. Yeah, he's got a little daughter, a lovely little daughter, a little girl about 3 years old. And he was just streaming, and she just opened the door, walked in, gave him a kiss and a hug, and walked out. So, kind of miss having your kids when they're young. It's nice when they're at that age. It's when they get 15 and they start to hate your guts and want you dead. That's the time that you miss those younger years. But if your wife's at home or your girlfriend or whatever, at least you've got somebody. But if you're on your own with your kids, yeah, it could be a bit tricky. And yeah, you guys sort of, you're early morning, aren't you? I'm afternoon, so yeah, tough one. So we got 2 dogs. I think for me, it's more about the dogs at the moment because they're just noisy. They're barkers. Looking for this to make a new low. Yeah, I am as well, mate, actually. This is working down, isn't it? The trouble is, oh, look at that quick spike down there. Right to that, look at, see that way that just popped down there, touch that measured leg and turn back. The trouble is it's not coming anywhere near the EMA, and you need it to really, so we may not even get a hope. So we've had a leg, a break, and a new low, and a bounce off that measured leg, so this thing could reverse, but who knows. A little double bottom there. But yeah, that's interesting. Wow, somebody's speaking. What time is it? Oh no. It's okay. I thought we may get a bit of light news there. But it was earlier, wasn't it? So a little double bottom there and quite a lot of buying there. So maybe 2 attempts to go low, 1 attempt, second attempt. Maybe this thing is going to hightail now. But I don't know. It's still bearish at the moment. There must be something here. Let me have a look. Okay, let me just clean some of this up because it's stressing me out a bit. Oh, slow down, Nancy boy, slow down. Okay, so that kind of looks like a channel. Yeah, I got no issues with that. Let me get rid of this green. Let's get something a bit lighter. There we go. In touch with my feminine side. Let's get a bit of pink going on. Oh man, purple. So this is coming down. Unnerved me that buy in there, see? The way it just had a double bottom and then quickly shut up, didn't it? A couple of bars. So channel with a break. Does look like it's trying to make a new low. It is working down. So big leg down, nice correction, another leg down with a break, made a new low from that. We've had another couple of legs up or a correction, whatever you want to call it, and it is slowly working down, but it's not working down enough for me. It's turning more into a bit of chop. And there was obviously, as well as what I call sort of chop, is almost like a downtrend that goes more sideways, but that is quite choppy. So, I mean, if it's following that line, so it's going to need to get down here at this rate to break that. There may be something larger there. We've touched that a few times. I just don't like all this vacant space. So just for now, let's get rid of it. It is bearish. There's no argument, is there? We had that big strong move back, a correction, and we had another quite strong move. and then a pullback, and it's slowly grinding down. But this thing could turn. Just can't do nothing down here. I always like when Thomas does that. Puts the same chart as me. He's watching that one as well. It just makes me think I'm along the same lines. Oh, bouncing again. Looks like something's going on, doesn't it? The thing's flicking around from time to time. It doesn't often do that unless there's any news. Occasionally when it clears out, but usually that's just a quick move, but it's sort of flickering up and down a bit. So something's causing a little bit of volatility. I paid $105 for 3 months, and you get to be in his Discord, and he's got dozens and dozens of videos as well. I've seen a few of the videos, but most of the stuff is sort of similar to what Mac shows. I've been, I've had a couple of years with Mac over the last sort of 3 years or so. But for me, the useful thing for me, I know there's some traders in there that I know, obviously Marco and Thomas himself, and Taylor as well from Top Pick Trading. I've chatted to him a bit. So for me, what I like about it is I'll quickly show you again. Thomas is constantly posting his there's another one there. When was that? 10 to 12 minutes ago. So he's constantly posting this sort of Taylor. He's posting another one from Thomas. So another one from Thomas, another one from someone else. So what I like about it is, who's that? Oh, there's one from me. He's handsome. There's one from me. So he's posting all the time. So it's good for me because one thing I lack sometimes is a little bit of confidence in my own chart trading. So it's good for me to just confirm. You guys can see your charts and you can see mine, so you've got something to compare it to. The market has bought up every pullback. I wonder if they're buying as much as they can. Yeah, well, it's funny to say that. When we came down here somewhere, didn't we? We had a strong push up. Maybe something's happening because this is not the normal volatility we see. Maybe sometimes around the open and obviously news, but if there's no news, it doesn't often do that. Occasionally we'll get a spike if it's taking stops, but there's not a lot down here unless there's a lot of liquidity down here, and every time it comes down, there's some buying going on trying to just push it back up. But it's hard to say, isn't it? We'll soon find out once it gets a few ticks below there. If we get a bit of a duck down. Is that Discord from Thomas Wade free? No, it's not, bud. He does a monthly thing, but there's none available at the moment, so I had to pay $105 for 3 months, but it works out about $30 a month. $35 a month. So it's not bad, I don't think. For me, it's good for me to have a glance at, and obviously, it helps me just sort of, make sure my tradings and my charting's right. It just helps my confidence. But I do like the fact that he's posting his chart on every 3 to 5 minutes. So at the end of the day, if I've got my chart wrong and I'm going to take a trade, sometimes I can get stopped out. And if I get stopped out, potentially I can lose $2,500, $3,000. So for the small fee, really, of £30 a month, £35 a month over 3 months, it's a small price to pay, I think. He's a better trader than me. He's been trading longer. So is Marcus. So is Taylor. So as far as I'm concerned, anybody more experienced and more successful is on my radar. So I think it's worth it anyway. But yeah, there are a bunch of videos on there as well about this, that, and the other. So yeah, it's value, I think. And if you don't want to pay for it, you can be pretty sure that my chart is almost identical to Marco's. So at least mine's has got a little bit of credibility to it. Put it that way. Bearish bar there, just can't go short there. Every time we come down to that line, it's rocketing up a little bit. So it's a bit sideways and a bit choppy. So and also getting there's a little bit of volatility in there. So it's flickering around. It has triggered that. May come down or it could bounce. So yeah, see, it's just posted another picture exactly the same as mine. In fact, I actually paid the money and he sent me an email. He said, I've seen your channel a little bit. He said, I do like the way you're always looking for new ways to sort of improve in that. He said, if you'd have emailed me, I'd have let you be a member of the Discord for free. So I was kind of frustrated. I could have done with that knowledge before I paid $105, but I don't mind. As far as I'm concerned, it's value for me. So don't forget the Great Academy videos. Learn tonight. Yeah, absolutely. There's a bunch of videos in there. I've not watched a lot of them, to be fair. I've watched some. But bear trap. All right. Yeah, I've watched some of them, but there's a lot of stuff in there for sure. Yeah. What else is in there? I think. Yeah, I've not looked at half of them. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it works out at $35 a month, $39. Yeah, I see. Yeah, you can't pay it when you select month. It won't give you the option to buy it for some reason, unless he's changed it now. But there's 2 boxes. $35 a month or $105 for 3 months. It wouldn't let me select the $39 a month box for some reason. So I had to select the $105, which works out at $35 a month. And in all fairness, it's peanuts, really. It's cheap. And if it saves you one bad trade, it's more than covered you. So, you know, they're more experienced traders than me in there. So as far as I'm concerned, it gives me someone else. You know, you guys can look at my chart and compare it to yours, and you've got two different opinions then, haven't you? So if we're both thinking the same thing, you know, that helps you a bit. So that's one thing I don't get when I'm streaming. I can talk to you guys, but ultimately I don't exactly know what you're looking at. So, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's good value for sure. So, liquidity there. We've now pushed above it. So let's see what happens when we get to this. My only slight concern is it's really slowly grinding down. So, quick push up to the top. So we've kind of had a couple of legs within this channel, but that's looking good so far. I'm just thinking, looking back here, we had that push up 2 big bars, and then we had about 4 or 5 bars sideways before it dropped. So we're still not quite at the lows, but we have kind of made a little double bottom there. So yeah, it's just popped another chart on there. So I do like the fact there's a little double bottom there. So is it going to go lower? Who knows? What I will say is this thing is bearish. We've steep, and we're feathering out a bit. So just don't know really. Lower high may be an option. Trouble is, it comes from there, and literally within a few seconds, it's already at the midline. That's the trouble. See, it's not giving you an option when it comes away from the top. You look there, it's just pushing straight down. Same there, straight to the bottom. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. I've had them for. The most recent one is about 6 weeks ago, I think. But the plan is to get them all to 3,000. And then take a $500 payment from all of them, and to try and repeat that $500 payment every month. And whatever I make on top of that, let the account grow. And then when I get up to a next level, I'll increase it. But that's the plan. I did have the attitude initially that as soon as I get to 26, I'm going to take the 2. But the trouble is, you know, when you eventually get to 20, you realise what a ball ache and how much time it takes. Time and effort to get them and then pay for them. Well, I kind of don't want to just throw them away by taking a good chunk, because that money won't last long, and then all of a sudden you're back to square one again. So I want to get them to 3 and then just take 500. They're all 50s, yeah. But I'm slow. I'm taking it slow because I've had a few slips, not revenge trading slips, but I went down to trading one contract because I was missing a few trades, but then I started taking slightly more riskier trades and I had a bunch of losses. So what I would have done in the past is revenge traded, but I haven't. I'm not doing that now, and I haven't done anything like that since sort of early March. So I'm quite happy to take it slow, but once they start to grow a bit, you'll relax a bit more and go for your normal 2 points. So I feel like I'm on the right direction, put it that way. But yeah, it takes time to get them, and then obviously pay for them for $140 a piece. So that's $2,800, and then what it costs you to pass them, all the emotions and stupid risk taking that I probably did with the evaluations. I still don't tend to take them very sensibly. They're all on a lifetime fee, yeah. So there's no. I haven't paid a penny to Apex now for 6 weeks, which I'm surprised I haven't had my bank manager on the phone saying, "Why aren't you spending money?" But it's lovely to come and trade every day and not to have to just constantly pay and pay and pay. It's really refreshing. So I'm just, however I feel at the moment, I'm just taking my time and just, if I can get a trade a day, that's great. The money will come. It's just, if you focus on the trades, don't be silly. Take sensible trades. If you take losses, walk away, then the money will come. It's just a matter of time. So I'm kind of just focusing on nice, sensible trades and nice, calm and thinking. And you rarely see me now click that buy and sell button because my brain now has a little bit of time to breathe. Now these emotions have gone. So there kind of is a second entry short there. Trouble is, I don't like all these wicks. And we've had a little double bottom here, so do I think it's going to come down? With the way it's looking, it may do. But it's also, I just don't know at the moment. I'm not a massive fan of what I'm seeing here. I'd like it to break and push up again a little bit and then maybe have a leg down with 2 attempts to go high and then I may go. But I never like going in these. I always, whenever we get channels like this, taking them in the middle there always makes me nervous. I like to try and get them to here and then start to bounce and push down. See another little double bottom there. So we got one there and one there. So it's just too risky, too close to these lows, especially with these wicks. I don't like these wicks. Sometimes when the bars look a bit erratic, I think it's a little bit more risky. Because remember when we got down here before and it started flickering up and down? You don't want to get into a trade there and it starts to flick. The only thing I can think about is there's buyers stopped below here and then they may be adding to it. I don't know. That's just call an educated guess. I don't know really, but yeah, 2 contracts. That seems to be the sweet spot for me. I'd get into a trade and just go for a straight 2 points. Okay, so I like the fact that that's triggered. So leg down and a leg down would take us to these lows. That is a fairly, we're trapping longs.
Order
There's longs
submitted.
down here for sure. Let's see how big it gets and how it finishes. No, I don't like it.
Order
It's
canceled.
congested there. I don't like all this wiki stuff. I think you might find it helpful. I had it on me chart for quite a while. And it does show you where liquidity is. I can tell you where liquidity is down here because every time we get down here, we're flicking up. But unfortunately, I haven't got the screen space at the moment. I'm rammed as it is. I've got my main screen, which is my main chart. The screen above me has got the 2 smaller ones in. And the top left, I've got YouTube and OBS. And on my bottom left, I've got my Replicanto and Thomas Way's Discord, so I ain't got space at the moment. But I did look at it I have got a laptop I could put it on. Let's have a look. Live, yes. Let's just kill the sound. Probably get that crack, crack, crack sound, wouldn't you? But yeah. Let's have a look. So where are we now? So 46 is the low of the day, isn't it? Let's open it quickly. So 46 is the low of the day here. So yeah. So there's this thing's pushing up at the moment. There's more liquidity up here, which is just below 56. Yeah, I don't even fully know how to read this. I know these are stronger areas of liquidity, the stronger the bar. Obviously down there, that liquidity's been there for a long time. So whether that will be 40, whether that will be, let's have a look, the bottom of this leg. No, so 40 is down here, isn't it? So there's a lot of liquidity down there at 40. Sorry. I don't fully know how to use it, to be honest with you. Let's have a look. Purchase the 250. We'll get 25 contracts, but we can't DCA. No, you can't. No, you can do it once apparently. So you can add to a losing trade once. But yeah, you can't. The one good thing about the 250 is if you swing more trades. See, drawdown doesn't really make difference to me because my risk is around about 2.5 points, and my profit is 2 points. So it doesn't go far enough to create a problem for me. But if you're if you swing more trades, then a $2,500 drawdown can be crippling to you. Whereas with the 250, at least you've got a little bit of breathing space there. So I think it's better for the for more that the guys who like to hold on for a little bit more. I've been trading the ES and NQ now some months. Sometimes NQ works very good for me. Other days very bad. I'm just going to stick with the ES. Yeah, I think I did the same, mate. I looked at it for a while. And I found it a little bit more unpredictable. This seemed to be a little bit more sedentary. But what I will say is now I've got two more charts exactly the same, but with this. Break at end of day deselected. There's a slight variation in the bars. And the theory is, and I know there are a lot of traders who use them now, Taylor does, a bunch of others. Sometimes when we get a nice setup but a bad signal bar, having the two other charts or even one just gives you a better chance at getting a better signal bar. So it's kind of like trading two charts but only really needing to focus on one because they're really the same. So there's a higher low there, but the trouble is when you've had all this, two legs up, I wouldn't like to do it. Now we have got some liquidity up here, but I'll just see there's a double bottom there, which could mean we come down and have another go and push up. But at the moment, with all this, which is a channel, I have to assume we've had a break, in which case we may make a new low. So there is a second entry short there. I just can't take that. I've got to wait for the higher low below that. Sorry, the lower high below the below the EMA, because so far price is holding. What did I miss? Look at those icebergs that soak up. So you trade 1-to-1. It's sort of, mate, yeah. I think my average signal bar is around about 2 3/4 points, and I go for 2 points, so not far away. Look at those buys that iceberg has soaked up. I do hear these icebergs sell or whatever they are, but I need to understand a little bit more. I kind of know what the theory is, that price moves towards liquidity, but I don't fully understand it. You add to winners. Yeah, see, I only go for 2 points, see, so you don't really get an option. But if you had a runner or something, yeah, you could, but There's so many different ways to trade, isn't there? I know a lot of guys who trade max, but then tweak it to their own kind of, their own way of thinking, which I don't think is a bad thing. So we've got 2 legs up here, I think, and a break out of this channel. So let's put that there and there. So that's clearly at that measured move. So yeah, I didn't get on with the NQ, to be honest with you. It's quite volatile. I didn't like how it moved. So I kind of like this. It's just, I don't know, you maybe try some different things, and I think each different chart's got their own slight characteristics. It's got to be a lower high, really, isn't it? You trade the NQ, yeah? Yeah, some people it suits. I think if you trade it and you get some success with it, I think you get a nice feeling about it, and I think then it can work for you. Maybe because I traded it with the ES, perhaps I didn't, have enough focus on it. So, it's one of those things. I did look at that one. But it's just a little bit floppy at the moment, isn't it? I kind of like the fact that we've had 2 attempts to go higher, but I think the safer option is waiting for the lower high. But the trouble is, look at that. You can tell where the thing's likely to go below here, but I just don't think we're going to have a pullback now. I think this is going to continue down to at least below here. If we can get a pullback, it's worth a go. But I just don't think once we get below there, we'll eat some liquidity, and there'll be some there as well. Yeah, Thomas Wade didn't take that. A couple did. He was waiting for the lower high, unfortunately. Look. Yeah, I had my suspicions. Once it goes below there, it's game over, really. There's no way in. That's risky. Yeah, Q, I've got 25 ticks, which is usually less than half a candle, really. So pretty much, yeah. Okay, I expect this to have a little bit more of a push when we get below there. Someone took the lower high there, or took the failure and got burned. Yeah, why would you go long there? Doesn't make sense to me. Try to go low once, right? I mean, it is trapping the shorts, but why would you go long there? It's clearly downtrend in here. Big steep downtrend, a couple of corrections, big downtrend, the thing's moving down. Just, I don't know, you could go long there. Mind you, there are times where I would have done in the past, but I'm waiting for payouts approved. Not sure why it takes Apex so long now. I can't help you there, mate. I've had a payment for a few months. I've got 20 PAs, which I'm slowly building up now, so I expect to in the next couple of months maybe. But I have seen a few people saying they're waiting on some of the Facebook groups. But what I will say is no news is good news. So, but yeah, it's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking because we do hear stories about, people being declined. But, if you follow the rules, I really wouldn't worry about it. You'll get your money. Sometimes they say that they're not strict. Yeah, I don't think they are that strict, to be honest with you. I don't think they're that strict with the 30% rule. I wouldn't worry about that if you've swayed out that. As long as you're not really dipping into that, I think it's more adding to it. See, I've thought about that losing trade. Now, adding to a losing trade is a strategy, but I think ultimately what Apex are looking for is ways to copy your trades. So perhaps that's just something they don't want to delve into. For instance, Alpine was not using a stop. Now, if you're going to copy someone's trade with your money, now if you think about it, did that $2.50 drawdown that Alpine's risking not having a stop is only really cost him $140. So it's worth the risk to him. But to Apex trading their own money and copying you, they don't want to be risking $2,500 plus on a couple of on a couple of contract trades. So I understand them not wanting to. I understand them saying you've got to have a stop. I think that's fair. Is DCA that I do well? Yeah, I know. They don't seem to want to do it for some reason. It's something I've never done, to be honest with you. But I understand it's a valid setup to a lot of traders. I think places like Top Step or Bullanox, I think you're okay to do it, but Apex for not for it for some reason. So yeah, so we got a push up here, and all of a sudden a quick pullback. So this thing is getting a bit hard to read, isn't it? It's getting a bit choppy. What the hell's going on here? See, we've had a break and a new low, so we push up, perhaps all coming back, trap some shorts, and away we go. I suppose it's possible there could be some kind of a not a fan of that. Overshoot. I don't know. You just kill that colour because it's affecting my bias. So up, down, small overshoot, opposite end here, lower high. I don't want to take that. 1, it's 13 ticks, it ain't even finished yet. 2, there's not much room to the lows. 3, we've already had a break in a new low, so getting in here is just a no-no. Certainly for me. May come down, but it's irrelevant really. It's a risky trade. Yeah, these bars are quite different, aren't they? Look at this. They're all flat here. They're not here or here, so I like the fact that they're all quite different. So this one is very much the same as that. Slightly different. Yeah, it's too big, isn't it? 13 ticks and it's triggered. Look what's happening. Now that would be a second entry long. You can pretty much guarantee there's going to be liquidity there, but do you really want to go long in that lot? Trouble is, whichever way you look at it, we've had a break in a new low. Okay, second entry long, which is triggered. But I'm not interested in this. It's just it's going to come down, stop that out. There'll be liquidity above there. We have had a break in a new low, so what does my gut tell me? More likely, I don't know, to be honest with it, where it is, it could come to the bottoms again and bounce. It could just push up. Someone's right. Yeah. Trouble is, look how bearish it is. Would you really want to go long there? So we've had a break in a new low, but this thing could just continue down. Let me have a look at this. So liquidity there for certain. So the second entry long is working. It's bound to push above there. And there's liquidity there. There's not much down here, really. Yeah. So if you took that for 2 points, bound to break above there. If it gets above there, it'll break above there. One more tick. And then a quick. Yeah, I thought as much. So it did work. Yeah, see, I put possible second entry long here, and a couple of people have put too bearish, definitely going short or going short. And then it works, takes out liquidity. There's not much liquidity down here again. There's liquidity there and there. We've already had a break in a new low, but this thing's a bit choppy. I mean, the reason I didn't take it, not because I didn't think it would get to the top, because it's a bit unpredictable. After a new low with a push up and a break, trapping some shorts, I wouldn't mind having a go at it. But I just don't like where it's going steep here, less angle here. It's just you know, it's a bit messy. You took it for 8 ticks. Yeah, good on you, mate. If I was using one you know, P or something, I may have a go at that one, but I'm not risking 10 of them on that because it is so bearish. It's not a massive risk. It's about a 3-point risk. Yeah, someone said they took the bearish signal bar there, which got stopped out. So yeah, they took that for a short off the top. Trouble is, we'd already made a new low, so you can't take that, in my opinion. Not only that, we got a channel here with a break, so someone took that and then got triggered. That's quite a big bar, that. But look at it now. See, it's chopping. See, on this chart here, there is a lower high. But you can, there's going to be a lot of liquidity in there, see? So going short there, it's not something I'd rather do. It's getting very, it's starting to flicker, isn't it? So there's a second entry long and we got a leg up. Today, most days are returns of other days. But I have nothing to compare this to. Yeah. It's very choppy here, which means it's dangerous whatever you do. I mean, looking at this, there's a failure there, but the bar's just not brilliant. There's liquidity there and there for sure, but it is very whippy and wicky, so it just might not work. Look, it's triggered it, and look at it now.
Order submitted.
Actually, don't mind that. Too late. I actually kind of like that, like the way we triggered that. What size is that? Is that going to be too late?
Order cancelled.
Oh, Trump said something, is it? Oh, okay, okay. That's right. Good on you, mate. Trouble is, it's going a bit sideways here, so it could mess you up here. Quite glad I didn't get that one now. Yeah, I'm quite glad that didn't pick me up now. Oh, Taylor's took that as well and just got stopped out. It's frustrating because it stuck you out for a tick. Look at that. Sometimes I'll give it an extra tick. So my stop ordinarily would have been there. An extra tick would have saved me there. So I'd say this probably is coming down. And you're about to make a new though, you think? Yeah. It's just too choppy for me. It's just not worth it. You've just got to stay out of it. Yeah, I don't like it when it's like this. It is kind of it gets very wicky, doesn't it? And there's also a little range there, so going short there, or even there, right close to these lows is probably not, yeah, it's definitely a little range there. Look how many times it's touching. Whoa. Nice. So if you had taken that one, I did look at it, but I just couldn't take it. I'd have been in and out of there in a flash. Oh, well done to Taylor. Oh no. Yeah. He got a, he gave it an extra tick. Oh no, tell a lie, he re-entered. He re-entered here. He got stopped out and then re-entered out. Yeah. Nvidia is crashing, is it really? What's Bitcoin doing? I've got some Bitcoin at the moment. I bought £500 worth at 54,000 and £500 worth of Solana at $1.24 or something. What are they doing? Okay, Bitcoin's all right. I'm nearly up 20% on Bitcoin. That's what I try and do, make 20% and cash in. I wait for a pullback or a bit of a dump. Buy it for 25. What's that? What's it at 55 something? So not quite 20%. How's Solana doing? Solana's doing okay. I bought that at 124, 121 or something, and that's at 160 now. I just put a 20% I put a sell order for 20%. And if it goes up, was it way down, I just hold on. I don't suppose we've got anywhere near all-time highs yet. Highs yet. NQ is moving beautifully, but the ES is choppy. Yeah, NQ is coming down, is it? Yeah, this thing is choppy, isn't it? We may finally have some sort of a channel down now. Yeah, it's very choppy today, especially this part. Yeah, so hard to trade this. It's just dangerous. NQ is thumping. Is that an American term or a spelling mistake? I'm assuming you mean bumping, don't you, mate? Thumping. Although I actually prefer thumping. We'll go with that one. Oh, it's dumping. I don't know. The trouble is, when you spell it wrong, you don't know whether it's dumping or pumping. It's going down, is it really? Tell you what, let's have a little look at one duplicate window. Let's yank this over here a minute. Have a look. Okay, so NQ, I got the up-to-date one. NQ 9th, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit more. Oh, that is much clearer today, isn't it? God, yeah. How much better is that? A little bit of chop here, that's it. But this thing is, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that is about as clear as it kind of gets. So that somewhere around about there. Little break, new low, just going down, isn't it? It is a bit choppy, but it's not as bad. It's definitely readable. Second entry short there, which worked. A little bit stacked there, though. But yeah, it's certainly clearer to read. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, the S is more like an epileptic version, isn't it? It's flipping bouncing all over the place. Yeah, this is so choppy in it. And the trouble is, when it is like this, it does get very trappy. Yeah, is this going to continue down? Maybe. But at the moment, there's nothing you can do. NQ try 100 ticks. Use 500. I think 500 is a better number. It's easy to manage the point system, isn't it? Because there seems to be so many more ticks within a point, and I find it hard to. Sometimes you think you've put the stop at the signal bar, at the top of the signal bar, but when you open it up a bit, there's about 3 ticks within that area. There we go. Oh. Let's just put that onto sim so I don't accidentally hit anything. Yeah. It is easier, I think, the lower the number, really. Obviously, too low gets silly, but yeah, I suppose the 500 is more similar on par to the point-wise. It's a lot easier to work out the points. Yeah, this thing's going, isn't it? There's definitely something going on, isn't there? Did someone say Trump was speaking or something? Because it is flickering. It's creating some liquidity, isn't it? And it is perhaps this may be the start of quite a big drop. Al Brook's been saying for a while we're due a 10% pullback, so this may be the start of the thing and it's going to tank. It is starting to look like it may just drop, isn't it? It's really, I'm really getting that feeling it's about ready to drop. So I'm going to put that there like that. Once we get below the lows of the day, this thing may just crash. Well, I don't know if crash is a strong word, isn't it? But we can certainly get down here, as we know. But this thing is just starting to look very bearish all of a sudden. Let's look for something. So, new low of the day again. So we got to get 2 legs up, really. It's definitely bouncing this. I have a feeling this is going to... I don't know, it's just looking very bearish all of a sudden, isn't it? Well, look bearish here, but we keep hearing about these possible pullbacks. So... Oh, I think this is just maybe a larger downtrend. Big push down, and then it's going right around that midline, so I think that is possible. So let's just kill the colour, so it's just an area of interest. Touch twice there, 1, 2, 3 at the bottom. Kind of working in with that area. So maybe look for a second entry short here. There is one here off this bottom. My only slight concern is it's not close enough from that EMA, but it is off this bottom. But nothing at the moment, unfortunately. It's very hard to read this. Just got 30 ticks. Good on you, mate. It's just hard, unreadable, this really. I get kind of what's happening, but it's that choppy. It's just whenever I see it like this, usually I just stay out of it because it's just not worth it. It can chop you up. I did look at something. Where was it? Something down here. Might have been that one or that one. I think it was that one, which did work. But I don't want to be going short into this. It's just... okay, so there's a second entry short there. But at the moment, I'm just sitting tight here. It's a doji there. It's not much better on the other bars, to be fair, so it's definitely a no for me. You're up 1,000 for the day. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Look at adding volume, and I tried a couple of times before. I put some volume on, but the trouble is with this, I think it's the purest form of price action you can get, which does work. Obviously, when there's setups, and there has been some setups, but unfortunately, it's very choppy, and sometimes them setups can chop you up a little bit. But I've tried all sorts of things just to try and you know, sometimes when you think actually I've kind of got everything I need, why don't I focus? You know, so it's just one of those things, isn't it? I think it's natural to look and to see if there's something else, but I don't know. Things are kind of nice as they are at the moment. As my accounts grow, then things may change. It's hard to say. So, what is going on here? Let's have a look. So big strong bullish bar finishes on its high, triggers big strong bearish bar, finishes on its low, which is triggered, so it could push up or it could come down. Could be a second entry shit. I don't bloody know. It's hard to tell at the moment because it is whipping up and down. It's ranging at the moment, so going short there would be risky. We have got a channel down here with a break, but you'd have to wait for a low high, and if you went for a low high, you may end up shorted into this. So that looks like a leg up with the break. If we get another leg up, could take us just above this channel, which would kind of be a mirror image of that. Have a great day. Yeah, you too, bud. Take it easy, mate. You too. Yeah, it's so hard when it's like this, isn't it? Let's adjust this now, I think. I think there's enough touches at other areas. Yeah, I think that's okay there. Okay, so channel with a break. And pushing up, that big bearish bar's triggered, so that's the first attempt to go higher. Let's see if we get another attempt, and I'll think then maybe we're going to go short some more. Trouble is when it's like this, you've got to be so careful. It's very easy to get chopped up in this. It's very hard to read what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if Max says later you just can't trade this stuff. He usually does his speech, doesn't he? You can't trade this stuff. The skilled traders are staying out of it, so when I stay out of it, I kind of feel like a skilled trader. So, see how easy it is to fool people. Yeah, it's not the easiest to trade, is it? I mean, you can kind of see what's going on, but you know, maybe you go short there. Trouble is, it's just so congested. It didn't work, but the trouble is, trading around this middle area is you know, sketchy, isn't it? And what I keep in mind, if I can get one trade a day or even 3 trades a week, that's $600 per account. That's over $2,000. That's what I can withdraw. That's over $2,000. So it's not a lot, is it really? 3 trades a week. So I straight away think if it's all choppy like this, just stay out of it. Wait for that one nice trade. You wait for a good trade, you'll have a lot easier life. You don't need to take a lot. You know, when I first started, I was taking half a dozen a day, minimum. But have you noticed Sam's taking less trades now, and he's having a better success? You kind of do it with time, because he was taking 5, 6, 7 trades a day, losing half of them, and then trying to move his profit to try and get it all back. It's exactly what I was doing, exactly. But after a while, I think you just start to settle, and the emotions don't bear the same effect on you, you know, and you do tend to just take less trades, and I think that's the key. And he seems to be doing right, Sam does. A lot of it is just down to staying power. If you've got the staying power, you can just keep sitting through it and allow that sort of change to happen naturally till you start to, you know, not react to those same that same panic. Then eventually you'll start to think clearly. Your skill level's constantly growing. You'll be in a much better place. He's doing well, Sam, isn't he? Chop, 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 chop. So a little channel with a break and a new high, and we've come back to the EMA. So let's see what happens. Very hard to read today. So we got a break. 1, 2 pushes up to a new high. Trouble is, I won't want to go short up here. It's got to get to the top at least first. So push through that EMA. Let's have a look. So we've got a leg down, 1, 2 attempts to go high, push the EMA. So we can get a bit of a pullback or something. Tough one. Excuse me. Mm, mm. Tough day today. Not easy. It's been really good lately. Last few days, last week, few days last week was nice. There's been more setups for sure, but I mean, from what time was that? About 3:50, 4:50. So about the last hour and a quarter, we've just been chopping up and down. Not much you can do really below here. You may have had a go at that one. Triple test broke out there. That came back nice, but it's just one of those things when you make depending on how you're looking at it, you make a bunch of attempts to go low, are you pushing up? I don't know. It's hard going this is today. Okay, I think I'm done for the day, folks. I've got to start looking for another car now. My car deal's fallen through. So how long we done anyway? 2 hours 40 minutes. That's fine. We usually do 3 hours, but choppy as hell today. Very easy to get stitched up. I mean, that's horrible. That is very easy to get stitched up. So look, I appreciate your comments. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope we finally get out of this and you get some direction and get a nice setup. So Thursday tomorrow. Yep. So have a great day. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And we'll talk again tomorrow. Bye for now.